This guy is going through a divorce, and it's not your typical divorce. He found himself a Filipino wife while in the Philippines, brought her back to the Americas, and now she's been Americanized, and now she's divorcing this ninja. Let's hear his story.
Well, it didn't take long. It only took 2 years, literally to the day, December 27th, for my Filipino wife to become fully Americanized, hate everything about me and what I provide, and decide to leave. Why did you marry me?
Because I don't want to work.
But you do work. You do a lot of work in the house for our kids.
That's my usual. I did that in my home, so I love to be spoiled. Why can't you just not work and still get what you want? Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the shittiest post that I'm ever gonna make.
I'm not happy.
There's a lot to it. I'm not gonna go into it, okay? But suffice to say, after providing and going on the Disney World trip, which included the funeral for my mom, I got up to day 6, I think, on that, because it all broke down at Magic Kingdom. Fucking ironic.
I'm not laughing at the story, but it is ironic that, the most magical place on earth, you find out you getting divorced.
And I didn't post anything after that, because when we got back from Orlando to St. Simons, Georgia, I was greeted with the announcement from Jayanne that she wanted a separation. And then I discovered through text that she had been discussing this with her family and making plans to also take the children. So, that's heavy, right? That's a new...
Hey, guys, you don't understand what it's like when you go through a divorce and you go from seeing your kids every day, to you can get reduced to weekends. You can go from every day to 4 days a month. Could you imagine that? Or every day to 6 days a month. That's every other weekend and one day throughout the week when you don't see the kids, a Wednesday for dinner. So from this aspect, I can feel this pain. But, I do have 50-50 custody, so.
Nuke. And I'm going to go into my bunker. So I came downstairs in my nice 4-story mansion and just stayed by myself through Christmas Eve and through Christmas Day. And I missed Christmas with my children. My in-laws, my mother and my father-in-law, and Jayanne, they proceeded to open the presents without me. Presents all of which I bought. Yeah, the separation is a separation. I'm lucky enough to have a big house, and the logistics of it can be met right away, but I spent Christmas utterly by myself. And it's coming up on New Year's Eve, and I'm still alone.
Now, here's the thing, man. The best advice I can have to give to fathers who have to spend holidays without your kid. I'm not oblivious to it. I split every other holiday. So, 1 year I get half the holidays and she gets the other half, and then it reverses. So there's naturally going to be some days where I don't see my daughter, like this year for New Year's. I was not with her. So find a hobby. That's the best thing. Find a hobby, find a creative outlet, a positive outlet. Don't get radicalized and become a member of or pledge your allegiance to any crazy organization out there. But finding a hobby, something to keep your mind off the fact that, hey, you're not with your kids, that is the best thing you could do for yourself. The absolute best thing you could do for yourself when you're not with your kids. But if you just sit at home and say, oh, I miss my kids, what was me? It's going to eat your ass alive. So get creative, find a hobby.
Because there's no communication from her. Why? Because she's communicating with her parents. She has the total backing and validation of her parents. Plus TikTok. All external sources of validation. And it's my position, my feelings are not relevant. She's got it figured out. She's got a plan. I'm waiting to hear what the plan is. and we'll see what happens from that point. But I'm pretty, I'm at peace with what has occurred, what could occur. I am done being Mr. Fix-It. Fix-It Felix. I'm not going to be the simp, nice guy, Fix-It Felix anymore.
Well, he was the simp nice guy. He went over there expecting to get a wife, and he did get a wife. His only mistake, the biggest mistake that he made, and listen to me closely. Do not bring her to America. You leave her in the Philippines. He seems to be like a man of wealth, of many means, considering he has a 4-story mansion. So that alone says, hey, you could have left her in the Philippines, but you wanted to bring her back. And sure, I get it. It's honorable. But the laws are not in your favor once you bring them back. Now you're going to have a good old American divorce. And she's going to take half of everything. And you'd be lucky if you get every other weekend. And his wife is a content creator. We could check out her channel a little bit later.
Relationship takes 2 people. And she made the decision for the separation. She's made the announcement and made plans with family to take our children back to the Philippines. And
now this is, look, if he has so many means, this is where he gets a lawyer. He hires the best lawyer that he can and establish a shared parenting plan before she goes to the Philippines. Because if he doesn't, it's going to be an uphill battle for him.
She's an adult.
And crying on the internet about it is not going to help him out at all. Hey, you want to get your kids back? It's done in the courtroom, not on TikTok.
She has accountability. It's on her to come to me and explain to me what her plan is, such that it is, and what can be done about it. So, surprise, no more countdown with the great fun in Disney World. It was a fucking disaster. And, that's the truth. Social media is not about the truth, but I'm about the truth, so that's what I give you. Thanks.
Now, people are giving him crap because he said my Filipino wife. Now, there is a part 2 to this. There is a part 2. And look, man, when you go through it,
really got
when you going through your divorce or whatever, and you want to talk about it, I mean, it's cool event online. It's good to get that quick hit of validation and support, because as a divorced man, you just want support. You want people to maybe see it your way. Maybe he wasn't the nicest of guys, but by and large, she's gone. And God or his parent, there's no one that's going to make her come back. But he has a moment that he is about to reflect on their marriage, on his potential mistakes he made. And then we're going to listen to a woman tell you why Filipino women divorce your ass when you get them back to the United States. Let's hear his part 2.
Ugly between us. The American system is on her side, not mine, not the man's. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
True.
Okay. That's it for now. More later.
That's a truthful statement.
Thanks for watching.
Sorry.
My Filipino wife has been Americanized. My Americanized Filipino wife. That seems to be triggering a lot of people. Let me explain what I mean. In America, if a wife, even a girlfriend, is not happy in the relationship, all she has to say to the world on social media, I'm not happy, and especially to the government, I'm not happy.
That's it.
She drops the word abused.
That's it. You don't even have to say abuse. They throw in the abuse to make it seem like they're not just doing it out of no reason. Oh, I was emotional abuse. If you never
along those lines,
if you never hit them, they're gonna say emotional abuse, verbal abuse. They're gonna say all the abuses that align with there being no physical evidence. And in some instances, it could be true, but by and large, most of them are not. They're not going to tell you that, oh, I had a baby and, I start having bad thoughts in my mind and I start looking at my husband as an enemy. They're not going to say that. No. They're going to say, oh, emotional abuse, oh, extreme cruelty. They're gonna make up any and everything to put all the blame on the husband and absolve themselves from any accountability. Oh, they're not gonna come out and just say, I just wanted the money. I wanted the kids. I just wanted 2 kids. And I wanted to make sure that they were taken care of. And when you came to the Philippines, you had a lot of money. And when you brought me back, I was living in a 4-story mansion. I'm living in this 4-story mansion. And I realized that if I divorce you, I could buy my own mansion in the Philippines. And you signed all sorts of paperwork that you're going to take care of me as an American citizen anyway. So let's get the divorce going and let's start the negotiations. And there's nothing you can do to stop it other than negotiate and plead and hope that some judge has some sympathy for you. But by and large, they're not, because you're the man and you're going to be looking at alimony. And since you signed that piece of paper that said you're going to take care of her for 10 years, you're going to be looking at a lot of alimony. And since you got 2 kids, you're going to be looking at child support. And because chances are you don't have a prenup because you watch some fucking video talking about how you can go to the Philippines and get you a good wife and they're going to be all feminine and you'll have no issues. But your goofy ass brought her back to America. And now she Americanized. Now she's just like every other modern woman. And now she's divorcing you like a modern woman. And now you're on TikTok crying about it. And that's just it. That's just what it is. Keep him over there. But, you know, my heart goes out to him for the kids. Let's keep it going.
Lines. The American system steps in. It steps in to protect her against any allegations that she makes. And the man's side of the story is, it's all assumed. I'm an evil,
I don't even know why the hell he's wearing that wedding ring.
Controlling, patriarchal, oppressive white dude. And the narrative quickly, instantly becomes me bad, she victim. So the fight that we're having, that's still there. Okay. That's always going to hang over my head. I'm a passport bro. I brought her here. I married her here. I signed all the government forms saying that I will support her for a minimum of 10 or 1,000 years. I don't know. I don't even know what I signed. And all you dudes out there who have been through this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Americanized means weaponization of the male-female relationship to benefit the female, because family court is not a judicial system. It's a corporation. For profit, digging into the pockets of dads, of men.
That is a truthful statement. That is a truthful statement. The family court is designed to extort men. It was literally designed to extort men so that the state doesn't have to pay them welfare. But you know, we don't want to talk about that.
Court is not a judicial system; it's a corporation.
More money goes through the family court than the goddamn NFL and NBA combined.
Of the male-female relationship to benefit the female. Family court is not a judicial system; it's a corporation. For profit, digging into the pockets of dads. And
you don't even realize this shit until you go through it. When I was growing up, when I was looking at people getting divorced, I was just like, damn, why they seem so upset? You getting divorced, get over it. You know what I'm saying? She freed you, move on. And then I get into the thick of it, and then I'm just like, damn, this guy is right. I can empathize with exactly how he's feeling about divorce court and about family court.
Men, because yeah, we're in a patriarchal system and men still have most of the money. Now, that's exactly what's true in our relationship. She doesn't have any money. I have all the money.
Well, and that's how he got the leverage over, because he had the money. She wanted to get the money. Well, how can she get the money if he won't give it to her? If she go through the state can make him give the money. Because when you get married, for all my married people in the chat, you're not marrying this person, you're marrying the state. The state is the intermediary. They're the middleman between husband and wife. Husband, hold on, let me do it. Husband, wife, state's in the middle. Y'all want to communicate? You got to go through the state. You want to see your kids more? You got to go through the state. You want to pay less child support? You got to go through the state. You don't want her to move to the Philippines with your kids? You got to go through the state. You're not married to her. You're married to the state. And people like John C is like, look, I don't feel bad. He looks very stranger danger, typical mail order bride-ish. Let me guess, a lot younger than him too, right? Yeah, he's 59, she's 28. That's the age gap. So about 20, what was that, 30-year age gap? 30-year age gap. So he has a 30-year age gap on his Filipino wife. And he went there because he had money and he was going to use the money as leverage. And when she got to the States, once he said, I do, and signed on the dotted line, now the state has leverage. Now her, who makes no money, who's likely a stay-at-home wife for God knows how long, she has all the leverage in the world. But he wanted he wanted that passport wife. That passport wife. You know what I'm saying? He wanted that feminine. I wanted her to be feminine. And he has enough money. He could have just literally got a surrogate.
And it's, a relationship can go south when the woman has lost love for her man and she's just going for the bag. And if she goes for the bag, she's going to get a huge portion of that. That's what I mean by Americanized. Jayan is solidly Filipina, and that comes with a lot of stuff. And one of those things is she's going to be fiercely defensive for her family, her mom and dad. And this whole fight is hinging on the fact that I disrespected her mom and dad. Never mind that they disrespected me too. We'll get into that later. But Jayan is not Americanized in that she's materialistic or even greedy. But she senses and she knows the support that she would get if things really got ugly between us.
Oh, they're about to get ugly. You blast her on the internet.
The American system is on her side, not mine, not the man's. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, that's it for now. More later. Happy New Year. Thanks.
Hell of a way to start your new year, right? Now, we're going to have a Filipino woman break it down. But this part right here that he said about the family court system being on her side, 100% true. 100% true. It would take it. It's an uphill battle, especially when allegations of abuse are levied against you, to prove that they're false. But the harsh reality, and let me tell you this for all the ninjas out there watching, the abuse does not play a part in the division of assets. Now, it may in some states where you can say, hey, I was abused, and you have the actual proof in it. But by and large, in the majority, they just gonna bust that shit down the middle. You've been with her for how long? You accumulated how much money in assets? You saved how much money in retirement? You gained how much equity in your home? All right, divide that shit by 2. In fact, carve out 33% for yourself and be content with giving her the 66%. Be content with that. This way, if you get 50-50, it's a win. Now, here's a Filipino woman, and she's going to break down why Filipina left their American husband soon as they arrived in America. As you heard my guy, he said it took her 2 years. 2 years. 2 years. Now, luckily for him, if that's how long they were married, it's a short-term marriage, but he signed on the dotted line. So let's hear her break down why Filipinas, or, women in general, leave their man as soon as they get to America.
Where you may find yourself in a routine that leads you to neglect important aspect of your relationship. Number 2, level of comfort, whereby why
Filipinas leave their husband.
Left their American husband as soon as they arrive in America. Here's some reasons why. Number 1, complacency. Complacency, where you may find yourself in a routine that leads you to neglect important aspect of your relationship. Number 2, level of comfort, whereby you don't feel like you need to actively put an extra effort to keep the relationship afloat. You're the husband may feel that the relationship is established and you doesn't need to put an effort in. This is very common. Men often to put a lot of effort into winning you, then neglect to put effort in to maintain the relationship. When you are complacent, you stop trying to grow or improve. This can mean that you stop putting in the effort you used to and stop doing the little things. This actually kills relationships more than you might think.
Well, here's the thing, right? If you raise the bar too high on your wife, she's going to be looking for that shit. all the time. And after a while, it's not gonna be, let's just say hotels every weekend, rose petals on the floor, sweet love, candle making, fancy dinners every night. It's just not gonna be that. The best relationships are boring. And most people don't want to admit it. They're like, oh no, I have a boring, stable relationship. I'm looking for stability. I'm not looking for consistent excitement. I just want some stability, someone who's not going to cheat on me, someone who's not going to have some outside wife, and hey, we're going to have date night every now and then. But sometimes you start off high. They call it love bombing. And when you love bomb or you raise the bar too high, they're like, oh, well, I'm expecting it all the time. You're like, well, it's year 2. And all the shit you used to do in year 1, you're not doing it in year 2. What's up? Oh, well, I did that to get you. We could do it every now and then, but, I got to work.
Thank you for listening. Follow me for my next video. I'm gonna upload a video on how to prevent this from happening.
Now, how they can prevent it from happening? Look, Tom Brady can't prevent it from happening. Jeff Bezos can't prevent it from happening. Bill Gates can't prevent it from happening. All these people with all the money in the world, all the free time in the world can't prevent it from happening. But you, like, well, I think I could do it. And there are some people in the audience who've been married for quite some time. And the thing is, divorce is always on the table. I don't care if you've been married 1 year, 10 years, 20 years. Hell, look at Judge Mathis. 40 years. His wife was about, she hit him with the, I'm not happy. And that fool tightened up. He tightened up. Like, I want my wife back. But in the end, guys, there's nothing you could do. Giselle. We'll talk about Giselle. But let me know what you think of this Filipino divorce. Is there some truth in it? All lies? Let me know in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace. All right, that was